Welcome to the Mind Shelf, where ancient wisdom meets modern relationships. Today we're diving deep into one of the most powerful yet counterintuitive approaches to human attraction and connection. What if I told you that the secret to making someone miss you desperately isn't found in constant texting, grand gestures, or chasing after their attention? What if the answer lies in a 2,000-year-old philosophy that taught emperors, slaves, and everyone in between how to master their inner world? Stoicism, the ancient Greek and Roman philosophy practiced by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, offers us profound insights into human nature and relationships. These timeless principles don't just make you more attractive. They transform you into someone so magnetic, so self-possessed, that your absence becomes more powerful than your presence. Let's explore how these Stoic principles can revolutionize your approach to relationships and make you unforgettable. The paradox of attraction, why chasing repels. Before we dive into specific Stoic principles, we must understand a fundamental truth about human psychology. We desire what we cannot easily have. This isn't manipulation, it's basic human nature. When something is always available, always accessible, we begin to take it for granted. But when that same thing becomes scarce, suddenly it becomes precious. Think about your own experiences. The person who was always texting, always available, always agreeing with everything you said, did they maintain your interest for long? Probably not. Contrast that with someone who had their own life, their own opinions, their own boundaries. Who intrigued you more? This is where Stoicism becomes revolutionary. Unlike modern dating advice that often focuses on games and tactics, Stoicism teaches you to become genuinely more attractive by becoming a better version of yourself. You're not pretending to be unavailable. You're actually building a life so rich and meaningful that you naturally become selective about how you spend your time and energy. Principle 1. Master your emotional reactions. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The first and most crucial Stoic principle is emotional self-mastery. Nothing repels people faster than emotional neediness, and nothing attracts them more powerfully than emotional stability. When you can remain calm, centered, and unshaken by their moods, responses, or lack thereof, you become magnetic. The psychology behind emotional control. When someone can predict your reactions, they lose interest. But when you respond to situations with measured thoughtfulness rather than knee-jerk emotions, you become intriguing. This doesn't mean being cold or unfeeling, it means being the master of your emotions rather than their slave. Practical application. When they don't text back immediately, resist the urge to send follow-up messages. If they cancel plans, respond with understanding rather than anger or desperation. When they're having a bad day, offer support without absorbing their negative energy. Practice the pause. Before reacting to anything they do or say, take a moment to choose your response consciously. The magnetic power of emotional stability. People are drawn to emotional stability because it represents safety and strength. In our chaotic world, someone who remains centered becomes a rare and valuable presence. When you master your emotional reactions, you become someone others want to be around. Not because you're always happy, but because you're consistently grounded. Principle 2. The art of productive solitude. All cruelty springs from weakness. Seneca. One of the most powerful ways to make someone miss you is to genuinely enjoy your own company. Stoics understood that true strength comes from within, not from external validation. When you cultivate a rich inner life and pursue meaningful activities alone, your presence becomes a gift rather than a need. Building your inner fortress. Stoics spoke of building an inner citadel, a place of inner peace and strength that no external circumstance can breach. When you have this inner fortress, you don't need constant reassurance, attention, or validation from others. This independence becomes incredibly attractive. Ways to develop productive solitude. Pursue hobbies and interests that genuinely fulfill you. Read philosophy, literature, or subjects that expand your mind. Exercise regularly to build physical and mental discipline. Practice meditation or contemplative practices. Work on creative projects that express your authentic self. Volunteer or engage in activities that contribute to something larger than yourself. The scarcity principle in action. When you have a genuinely fulfilling life apart from them, your time becomes scarce and valuable. You're not always available because you're genuinely busy with meaningful pursuits. This natural unavailability creates the psychological conditions for them to miss you. The key difference between Stoic unavailability and game playing is authenticity. You're not pretending to be busy. You actually are busy building a life worth living. Principle 3. Practice philosophical detachment. Wealth consists in not having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Stoic detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means not being attached to specific outcomes. When you can genuinely enjoy someone's company without needing them to behave in specific ways, you become much more attractive and much less stressful to be around. Understanding non-attachment versus indifference. There's a crucial difference between Stoic non-attachment and cold indifference. Non-attachment means caring deeply while accepting that you cannot control others' actions. Being fully present when you're together without clinging when you're apart. Offering love without demanding it be returned in specific ways. Investing in the relationship without being attached to particular outcomes. The freedom of non-attachment. When you practice non-attachment, you free both yourself and the other person from the prison of expectations. This freedom is incredibly attractive because it allows for authentic connection rather than transactional relationship dynamics. Signs you've achieved healthy detachment. You enjoy their company without anxiety about the relationship's future. You can have difficult conversations without fear of losing them. You maintain your own goals and friendships regardless of the relationship status. You feel complete whether they're in your life or not. Principle 4. Develop unshakable self-worth. No one can hurt you without your permission. Eleanor Roosevelt, echoing Stoic philosophy. Perhaps the most attractive quality anyone can possess is genuine self-worth that doesn't depend on external validation. When your sense of value comes from within, from your character, your principles, and your authentic self, you become magnetic. The internal source of value. Stoics understood that external things, including other people's opinions and actions, are ultimately beyond our control. Therefore, basing your self-worth on these externals is not only foolish but also unattractive. Instead, derive your worth from your commitment to virtue and good character, your efforts to improve and grow as a person, your contributions to others and society, your ability to face challenges with courage and grace, your authentic expression of your unique gifts and perspectives. How self-worth creates attraction. When you have genuine self-worth, you set healthy boundaries naturally. You don't tolerate disrespectful behavior. You bring positive energy to interactions because you're not seeking validation. You can be vulnerable without being needy. You attract people who are also emotionally healthy. Principle 5. Master the power of presence and absence. The best remedy for anger is delay. Seneca. Stoics understood the importance of timing and space in all aspects of life, including relationships. Mastering when to be present and when to create space is crucial for maintaining attraction and allowing someone to miss you. The quality versus quantity principle. It's not about how much time you spend with someone. It's about the quality of that time. When you are fully present, engaged, and authentic during your interactions, those moments become precious and memorable. Then when you step back to focus on your own life, they're left with the memory of that high-quality connection. Strategic withdrawal versus game playing. Stoic withdrawal isn't about manipulation. It's about balance and self-respect. Sometimes the kindest and most attractive thing you can do is give someone space to recognize your value. This might mean taking time to process your own emotions before responding to conflicts, focusing on your own goals and activities instead of always being available. allowing natural pauses in communication rather than feeling compelled to fill every silence, respecting both your own and their need for individual space and growth. Principle 6. Cultivate virtue and character. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Stoics believed that virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline is the only true good. When you focus on developing these qualities, you become genuinely more attractive because you become a better person. The 4 cardinal virtues in relationships: wisdom, making sound decisions, learning from experiences, and offering thoughtful perspectives; justice, treating others fairly, being honest, and standing up for what's right; courage, being authentic even when it's difficult, having difficult conversations and facing relationship challenges with bravery; self-discipline, maintaining your values and boundaries, managing your emotions, and following through on commitments. Why character attracts. People are drawn to those with strong character because they feel safe and secure around principled individuals. Character provides predictability and trustworthiness. Virtue inspires others to be better versions of themselves. Strong character creates respect, which is the foundation of lasting attraction. Principle 7. Practice constructive communication. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the 2 rows of teeth, upper and lower. Marcus Aurelius. Stoics valued clear, honest, and constructive communication. Instead of playing games or using manipulation, they believed in direct but respectful dialogue. This approach makes you attractive because it creates genuine connection and demonstrates emotional maturity. The elements of Stoic communication: honesty without brutality, speaking truth in a way that builds rather than destroys; active listening, truly hearing and understanding rather than just waiting for your turn to speak; emotional regulation, communicating even difficult things from a centered place rather than from reactivity; constructive feedback, offering observations and suggestions rather than criticism and demands. How good communication creates attraction. When you communicate like a Stoic, conflicts become opportunities for growth rather than relationship destroyers. You create emotional safety that allows for deeper intimacy. You stand out from others who use manipulation or passive aggression. You demonstrate the kind of mature relationship skills that create lasting partnerships. Principle 8. Focus on what you can control. Some things are within our power while others are not. Epictetus. Perhaps the most fundamental Stoic principle is the dichotomy of control. In relationships, this means focusing your energy on your own actions, responses, and character, rather than trying to control or change the other person. What you can control in relationships: your own behavior and choices, how you respond to their actions, the effort you put into your own growth, the boundaries you set and maintain, the quality of presence you bring to interactions, your own emotional state and reactions. What you cannot control: their feelings, thoughts, or decisions, whether they choose to be with you, how quickly they respond to messages, their past experiences or baggage, other people's opinions or actions, the ultimate outcome of the relationship, the attraction of self-control. When you focus only on what you can control, you become incredibly attractive because you don't waste energy on manipulation or control. You create a sense of freedom and safety for others. You demonstrate emotional maturity and wisdom. You become someone who adds value rather than demands it. The psychology behind missing someone. Understanding the psychological mechanisms behind missing someone helps us apply Stoic principles more effectively. Missing someone is fundamentally about the absence of positive experiences and the uncertainty about when those experiences will return. The role of anticipation. Anticipation often creates more intense feelings than the actual experience. When someone knows you'll always be there, there's nothing to anticipate. But when your presence becomes something special and somewhat unpredictable, anticipation builds desire, memory, and idealization. When we can't see someone regularly, our minds tend to focus on the best memories and experiences with them. This natural idealization process makes your absence more powerful than your constant presence. The scarcity principle. Psychologically, we value what's rare or limited. When you become someone whose time and attention are genuinely valuable, because you have a rich, fulfilling life, your presence becomes more meaningful and your absence more noticeable. Practical daily applications. Morning routine. Starting with Stoic intention. Begin each day by setting Stoic intentions. Remind yourself that you can only control your own actions and responses. Commit to acting with virtue regardless of others' behavior. Focus on what you want to accomplish for your own growth and goals. Practice gratitude for what you have rather than focusing on what you lack. Throughout the day, Stoic responses. When they text, respond thoughtfully rather than immediately. When they don't text, focus on your own activities rather than wondering why. In conversations, listen more than you speak. Practice emotional regulation before responding to challenging situations. Evening reflection, the Stoic review. End each day by reflecting. Did I act in accordance with my values today? Where did I let emotions control me instead of, what can I learn from today's interactions? How can I be better tomorrow? The long-term transformation. Applying Stoic principles to relationships isn't about quick fixes. It's about fundamental personal transformation. As you develop these qualities, you don't just become someone others miss when you're absent. You become someone worth being with when you're present. The compound effect of Stoic practice. Like compound interest, Stoic practices build on each other. Emotional self-mastery leads to better decision-making. Better decisions lead to a more fulfilling life. A fulfilling life creates natural scarcity and attractiveness. Attractiveness combined with virtue creates meaningful relationships. Meaningful relationships reinforce your continued growth and development. Becoming naturally selective. As you develop Stoic qualities, you naturally become more selective about relationships. This isn't about being elitist. It's about recognizing your own worth and choosing to invest your time and energy with people who appreciate and reciprocate your efforts. Advanced Stoic relationship strategies. The art of loving detachment. Advanced Stoic practice involves loving deeply while remaining unattached to outcomes. This creates a powerful dynamic where you can be fully present and caring while maintaining your independence and self-respect. Handling rejection stoically. When someone doesn't choose you, Stoic principles teach you to accept their decision with grace and dignity. Focus on what you can learn from the experience. Maintain your self-worth independent of their choice. Continue pursuing your own growth and happiness. Creating positive cycles. Stoic behavior creates positive cycles. Your emotional stability attracts emotionally healthy people. Your self-respect teaches others to respect you. Your inner fulfillment makes you more giving and generous. Your authenticity inspires others to be authentic. Common mistakes to avoid. Fake Stoicism versus authentic practice. Avoid using Stoic principles as manipulation tactics. True Stoicism is about becoming genuinely better, not about pretending to have qualities you don't possess. The cold fish trap. Don't mistake emotional regulation for emotional unavailability. Stoics feel deeply, they just don't let emotions control their actions. Perfectionism. Paralysis. Remember that Stoicism is a practice, not a destination. You don't need to be perfect to apply these principles effectively. The ripple effect. How Stoic attraction impacts all areas of life. When you develop these Stoic qualities for relationships, they enhance every area of your life. Professional life. Leadership abilities improve through emotional regulation. Decision-making becomes clearer and more effective. Workplace relationships become more positive and productive. Friendships. Friends respect your boundaries and value your company more. You attract people who share your values and commitment to growth. Conflicts are handled more maturely and constructively. Family relationships. You become less reactive to family dynamics. Your example inspires others to handle challenges better. Old patterns of dysfunction begin to change. The ultimate goal: authentic self-development. The ultimate goal isn't to make someone specific miss you. It's to become the kind of person whose presence naturally adds value to others' lives and whose absence is genuinely felt. This is the difference between manipulation and authentic attraction. When you focus on becoming genuinely more attractive through character development, emotional mastery, and authentic self-expression, the right people will naturally be drawn to you and will miss you when you're not around. More importantly, you'll have become someone worthy of being missed. Thank you for joining us here at the Mind Shelf for this deep dive into Stoic principles for attraction and relationships. Remember, these aren't quick tricks or manipulation tactics. They're time-tested principles for becoming a better version of yourself. When you focus on your own growth, virtue, and authentic self-development, you naturally become more attractive and memorable. The ancient Stoics knew something we often forget in our modern world. The most powerful attraction comes not from what we do to get attention, but from who we become when no one is watching. Start implementing these principles today and watch as your relationships transform. Not through manipulation, but through genuine personal evolution. Don't forget to subscribe to the Mind Shelf for more insights into ancient wisdom for modern living. And remember, the goal isn't just to make them miss you, it's to become someone worth missing.